Right before we jump into this video, if you haven't signed up for the Fronos Photo email list, you can do so. Just look for this orange box over on the website, put your name, email address in it, hit send it, and I will send you a free guide to capturing motion in low light situations. Jared Polin, FronosPhoto.com, and I want to share with you the photo that I captured of the Pope. Now, before I show it to you, I want to break down exactly what I went through to capture this image, what was going through my mind, how I got my camera settings, how I got to the location that I got to. Now, I didn't have any special privileges to go and photograph where I photographed from. That was open to the public. All you had to do was go through the security checkpoints and then find a place along the parkway, which is a couple of mile area where the Pope was going to parade around in his Popemobile. And so I found a place 4 hours early. I found a spot that because if you know you want to get a photo, you better camp out to get a spot, to get a location, to get a photo. Now, when I found this spot, there were already people along the barricade, and I didn't have a clean view of where the Pope was going to be coming by. But the nice lady, Kim, and her mother, who came in from D.C., were kind enough to allow me to slide in between and have a place against the barricade. So camera-wise, we'll go over that in a minute, but we showed up 4 hours early to get this spot. We had to wait. Now, they said the Pope was going to go around the papal parade starting around 5:30. Then what happened is they said it was going to start at 6:50. I checked my watch, and sundown was at 6:50, which means it was going to get dark. At 5:30, it would have been great because the light was awesome, and the sun would have been right here, the Pope would have been coming this way, and would have given a nice golden hour light into the Pope's face, but that wasn't going to be the case. So now I have to start to figure out my settings. What are they going to be? It's getting darker and darker, and if it's after 6:50, any further after that, it's going to be almost pitch black, which means is he even going to have lights on in the Popemobile? So let's take a look at the photo first, and then let's break it down. So here we go. This is the photo that I was able to capture. Now, I'm sure people are going to be like, this isn't the greatest photo since sliced bread. It's not the greatest photo since sliced bread, but I was there camped out to get this image, and I want to tell you everything that happened in order to get this. So the Pope was coming down the street. All right, this was taken at 7:22 p.m. You can see that it's pitch black. We didn't know, is the Popemobile going to have lights? Because if it didn't have lights, we were SOL. We wouldn't have gotten photos. Nobody would have gotten photos. And I'll be honest with you, anybody with a cell phone definitely wasn't going to get a clear photo of the Pope going by because it was just going to blur. So we were able, where we were at, we would get to see the Popemobile go around a different area and then work its way back up towards me where I was standing. So we got to look, and we're like, all right, the Pope has, there's a light inside the Popemobile. It's bright white. But then what settings do I use? What do I do? What do I guess? Well, we also didn't know how fast he was going to be going by. So to start off, I did have my settings around ISO 5000. I didn't want to go higher. Actually, I had it set to 8000 because I didn't know if there was going to be lights in there as we were waiting for it to happen. Then when I saw that there were going to be lights inside like there were here, I went ahead, changed my ISO to 5000. I set it at f3.2 to give myself a little leeway with the focus, and I set my shutter speed to 1/500th of a second. Now, I did the 1/500th of the second is because if he's going by pretty fast, I want to be able to freeze the motion. And so, you know how I say this all the time, that you should observe and feel the world and see the world around you and not always look through the camera to take a picture. Now, that's great in some cases. If the Pope was going slow and he was coming by, well, maybe that would be good. But guess what? He went by at roughly 30 miles per hour. He was by us before you even noticed that he was there. So honestly, if I didn't take a picture, I wouldn't have even seen the Pope, because now I could sit here and look and be like, oh, I did see the Pope. Because he went by so fast that I would have missed it. I wouldn't have been able to see it because I don't see too well, and it would have been a blur. But luckily, I was able to capture this. I was in continuous focus. I was in dynamic 0.9. I was able to get this right here. And luckily, he was looking towards where I was standing, not looking at me, but just looking to where the people were, and he had his hand up. If we go a couple of pictures after, you can see that the hand would start to block his face as he went by. So yes, I used the motor drive to the best of my ability here, but I used everything that I knew settings-wise. I knew if it wasn't 1/500th of a second or faster that I would have run into trouble and he could have blurred, and it wouldn't have been good. So that's why I chose 1/500th of a second. Anything slower than that, you're going to risk the Pope being out of focus because of blur, motion blur. So that's why that's set there. 3.2 just gives me more leeway. 5,000, it's not even that far. And 62 millimeters with a 24-70. Didn't need a 300 f4, didn't need anything else. You can see this is at 62 millimeters. And I had to, all right, really quick. So this was the first sighting of the Pope around here. The reason I took one quick photo is to see if my exposure was going to be close. Knowing that it was going to be close, I then prepared for the Pope to go by. And if you see video of this happening, it was literally vroom, gone. So I didn't lock in. I had continuous focus, found the Pope in there, and just panned with it as he went through. And this is the one that I got. It's sharp. It's in focus. It's okay. I actually like it. We've got these LEDs lighting him up. So let's break down the image real quick. I just want to show you the editing that I did because the raw file is brought to life in post-processing. I just want to take you back to where it imported. This is where it's at. Not a bad exposure to begin with. Really not, especially knowing that it's at 722 at night. I just want to show you what happened as I go through the changes. I'm going to click here over on the left in my history, change the tint. Would black and white be good? No. Then start to play with the exposure. Keep changing it, temperature. But right here, you're like, yeah, but it's dark in his face and it's not too good. Then I started to play with the shadows. Would that work? Then I played with the highlights. This is terrible. But I thought, what if I move the highlights down and then bump my exposure? Will it make the image better? And then I'm like, oh yeah, this is much better, in my opinion, than where this image was, because it just looks like a snapshot. But as we get in here and we change the exposure and change the tint and the clarity, it's coming to life. The exposure, the temperature, boom, boom, boom. And then this is where I'm leaving it. This is what I came up with. So that is the photo of the Pope that I was able to capture. It's not the greatest photo in the world, but a culmination of being in the right, well, not the right place, but getting there early to get my spot, thinking about what my settings should be, picking the lens that I know I needed, and then actually capturing the image as he went by, being prepared to do it. I'm really happy with what I captured right here. If you want to download the RAW file, you can have the RAW file. You can share it with the world. You can edit it all you want. Please don't sell it. Not that anybody should be buying it, but give me credit if you're going to post it somewhere. If you want this picture for a family member or anybody, you can print it out all you want. You don't have to put my name on it. You can print it. You can share it. You can do whatever you would like. Just don't try to put your name on it and sell it as something that you did. So it's free to anybody in the world. I'll put up the full res JPEG as well as the DNG file so you can have it and edit it and do whatever you would like along those lines. So that is a breakdown of how I photographed the Pope in Philadelphia. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.